Hi, we are a group of four people, and myself, Pawan Tejawat.
I'm Pawan Kumar Sangabatula.
Hi all, I'm Wangshi.
Hello, I'm Harshvardhan Bajwada.
Yeah, so in our project, we designed a database system for a frequent flyer program, and in this Slash project component, we will be relying on the frequent flyer database, which we have created in in our previous project component to develop the Java servlet code, side code supporting part of our frequent flyer application using Android Studio and NetBeans. And okay, so we are gonna start demonstrating our project. So the first part is explained by my friend Pawan Kumar Sangapatula.
Okay, so coming to the main part of the project, we have used Java NetBeans for the development of all the JSP files and all the front end, and we have developed a Java login page firstly, and it is used for user authentication. If the user gives his credentials, and the Java application will validate the credentials from the database we have given to it. And coming to the next part is info.jsp. The main part in this is we execute a query in which we we call the names and total flight points and passenger names from the database. And coming to the flights.jsp, we use a query called flight ID, destination and miles, which will derive the data from the database. And coming to the flight details.jsp, here we give a query as a flight details, date and time, arrival date and time, and a flight miles, trip ID, and trip miles from flights database. And coming to awards, here we pass a query as select passengers ID, award ID from redemption history, where passenger ID is equals to passenger ID. And coming to redemption details, here we pass a query as awards description, points, award points, and required redemptions, and exchange name. And coming to get passengers ID JSP, here we recall a passengers ID from passengers database. And coming to the final JSP file, it's called transfer point JSP. This is the main part of the project. It's like uh, we pass a source to destination passenger ID. We get points from source passenger ID and final destination passenger ID, and we use an update statement for updating all the transfer points for all the calculations made. And from now on, my teammate will continue.
Hello. So coming to the second section, which is the Java code for the Android activities. I use the Wally library in this code, and there are basically 5 activities related to the main activity. So it is totally 6 activities. So the primary activity has a login page that provides access to the other activities. So coming to the main page, the info.jsp and images.jsp files are called in the main page. The main page includes information on all flights, redemption options, transfer locations, and exits, which is the second section. And the flights.jsp and flight details.jsp files are utilized in the activity, which is used to choose the flight ID. Coming to awards.id.jsp and redemption details.jsp, which are found in the awards activity. These two JSP files are called in this activity. And coming to the next activity, which is get passenger id.jsp and transfer action.jsp. In this activity, we call these both JSP files and we use this activity to transfer points. That is all. Coming to my next teammate.
So coming to my part, I'm gonna show you the demonstration how we uh, use JSP files using a Tomcat. So let me start my Tomcat here. I was started and I'm gonna open the browser and I'm gonna show you each and every JSP file how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna use my Project Component 4 PDF to grab some URLs. So here I'm gonna paste it here and in the place of certain PID. So I'm gonna mention the passenger ID I've used in my database. I'm gonna call 101 passenger to show up his details. So in here, if you could see, I have got his full name and also his redemption points. So the points are left in his point account. So I'm gonna demonstrate about the another URL that's flights.jsp. This is the one for the flights details. And I'm gonna give certain PID and the passenger ID as 101 or yeah, I got it. So this is the flight ID and this is the flight trip miles and this is the destination. And I'm gonna show another JSP file that's flight details.jsp over here. So I'm gonna give a flight ID, let's say one of the flight IDs 40010. Uh, no, there's no flight ID. Yeah. So I've got departure date time and arrival date time, and also the trip miles of that flight and also the flight ID. So coming up to the next JSP file, it's award IDs.jsp. The award IDs are linked to the passenger ID. So I'm gonna give a passenger ID, let's say 102. If there are no awards for the mentioned passenger, it shows blank. Yeah, like it shows now. So if there are some awards, let's say 104, so he have an award, so it shows the award ID of the passenger. And I'm going to use this URL for the next JSP file demonstration. It's redemptiondetails.jsp. So I'm going to use the last passenger details, our ID as 90014. Yeah. So this is the award description and the points needed. This one is the points needed, and this is the arrival date time, and this is the action center where at which he redeemed his points. So the next one is get passenger ID.jsp. I'm gonna use this URL. To show you how it works in the server side. I'm gonna use 105. So what this JSP file does is it shows each and every passenger other than the passenger we have mentioned here. Like I have given 105 passenger and there is no 105 here. The rest is printed here. So this is the job it does. And the other JSP file is transfer points.jsp. I'm gonna use this URL. Yeah, and at this point, endpoints equal to I'm gonna give a 1 point for the for the demonstration, and let's say DPID. The destination passenger ID would be, let's say, 105, and the source passenger ID would be, let's say, it's 103. Let's see what happens. Yeah, points transfer successful. So when the points transfer to one point account to another point account, it shows up the message called points transfer successful. So all these JSP outputs are reflected in the Android Studio, which we have developed, and my friend is gonna demonstrate how the app works step by step.
Hello. As I'm introduced to you before, I'm Venkatesh Vardhan Bajwada. I'm going to explain you about the app navigation in the Android simulator. Just wait for me to open the simulator, please. As you can see, at the front part, the very front part of the app, yeah, the app is going to ask you about the username and passwords. When you have given the credentials, if the credentials you have given matches with the credentials in the database, it's going to take you into the app. If there is no, if the match does not happen, it's going to show you a prompt that the username or password does not match. If they did match, you can go to the next part of the app, which is the home page. Yeah, as you come to the home page will show you the name of the passenger and his image and the number of reward points he has. And it also shows you about the four activities that it is the starting point of, which are the flight details, all flights, redemption info, and the how and the an activity to transfer points. And while we go to the flight details, in the flight details activity page, it's going to show us the flight ID and the number of flights, number of miles the flight has traveled and the destination of the flight which is boarded by the passenger. And in the all flights activity, it is going to show the number of flights we took and the departure of the each individual flight, the departure date and the timings, and also the arrival date and the timings, and also the number of miles traveled by that specific flight. We can choose the specific flight by using Spinnator, and it is also going to show the trip ID in which the flight is part of. And it's going to also shows us the number of miles covered by the trip. And in the redemption info, it is not showing the redemption info is not showing anything because this particular passenger has not redeemed any other awards. So let's go to another passenger who has redeemed any one of them. Yeah, this particular passenger, Smith Madison, he has 1998 points. Yeah, he did to redeem the award. The reward ID is 90014. And the price description is NYC New York City staycation. And the points that are needed for the next price that he can redeem is 2,500 points. And it is also this particular page also shows the redemption date and the exchange center of the award. Sorry. And the next activity we can do in the home page is transferring points. By using this activity, we can transfer the points to another passengers. As we choose in the scrolling option, we can see every passenger ID other than the host. I mean, the this host is passenger ID 104. As you can see, we cannot see the passenger ID, and we have to enter the number of points that we have to transfer, and just hit the transfer button. And after we hit the when the points are transferred, it's gonna show you prompt that transfer was successful. And when we go back, we can see that the number of points has been updated. And when we go to the passenger who did receive the points, and we can see that the number of points has been updated to the 1551 points. In this way, the we can also in this way the apps also updates every time the transfer has happened, updates the points every time the update has happened. And we can also retransfer the points back to them. Yeah, it shows the points. Okay, thank you.